Good evening. Thank you. Get organized, BK. You are getting organized. It's good to see you. It's good to be here. It's always wonderful to be here. Thank you, Assemblymember Carroll. I want to say thanks to the rabbi for being our host tonight, and let us all give thanks to the wonderful people at Congregation Beth Elohim for hosting us here in their beautiful sanctuary. In my own life, Rabbi, my work is deeply grounded in the tradition you embody of working for Mishpat, for tzedek, for true justice for all people. That is the essence of the tradition, and I'm proud to be here with you tonight. I also want to take a note, and Brad will speak more about this, but we have two special guests, progressive elected officials from Texas and Pennsylvania, Greg and Helen, who've traveled far to join us tonight. And they have traveled to join us tonight, my friends, because of that great organizer, a model of an activist in a public official's body, Brad Lander, our councilman extraordinaire. So good evening, Brooklyn, good evening all. We have our work to do, but your commitment to being here tonight, your commitment to this organizing boot camp is tremendously important. I wanted to be here with you tonight because this is exciting, because this is where we take the game to a whole new level. The word is getting out about Get Organized, BK, what you've been accomplishing since the election. People are paying attention, and not just people on our side are paying attention. Your protests, your meetings, your die-in put you at the heart of the struggle. And let us take a moment to give thanks, because as a result of your work and of the national coalition you are building, and I am honored to be a proud of, it was Republican health care policies that staged a die-in Washington on Friday. And the hastened death of the effort to repeal the Affordable Care Act, the defeat of Trump Care, is due to each and every one of you and people in rooms like this all across America. Thank you. Give yourselves a round of applause. So, the assembly member said I was an important guy in Albany. I've worked hard not to be stuck in Albany. But what I am is your lawyer. And I am your lawyer in every part of the state for anyone who is here, citizen and non-citizen alike. If you're in New York, I'm your lawyer, and I'm proud to be your lawyer. I was proud to be your lawyer, and I represented you and people of the state of New York, that's you, versus Donald Trump, Trump University et al. I am proud to represent you now in my investigation of ExxonMobil and whether or not they committed fraud, where last week it emerged that former CEO, Secretary of State now, Rex Tillerson, may have used a phony name called Wayne Tracker to communicate with other Exxon executives. And I am especially proud to represent you as I work to organize other attorneys general around the country. And we have, Helen is close to my good friend Josh Shapiro in Pennsylvania, new attorney general who is a part of that coalition, as we organize to fight back against the un-American, malevolent policies flowing from Washington. The federal government is not going to stand up for the fundamental principles of equality and justice that permeate the Constitution and that are the founding principles of this republic. We will stand up at the state level and send a message that we will fight for equality and justice. And for the first time, Democratic attorneys general are emerging as a leading edge of the resistance. It was our coalition that struck down the unconstitutional anti-Muslim travel ban Trump imposed in January. We're in court right now on his second travel ban and have gotten an injunction against that. And state AGs, you should know, are now organizing and raising questions about policies from destructive health care proposals that would impinge on women's rights, to attacks on sanctuary cities, where I was going back and forth with purported Attorney General Jeff Sessions today, to corruption and conflicts of interest in this new administration. But tonight, my friends, my brothers and sisters, hermanos y hermanas, Pongyoman, you are here to do something more than just fight against bad policies. And this is the thing I want to leave you with at the outset of the evening. To me, I believe we are here, you are here, to build the next great American political movement. Because we can't just fight back. We have to fight forward and show the people of New York and America there is a better way. The announcement for tonight's meeting said we're here to get the skills, to gather the skills we need for the long haul, for the long haul. Well, if you study American history, for the long haul means the wonderful work of movement building. And I want to make this point, and then let's get to it, because I do believe right now we're in a process of what started out as resistance, transforming into the next great American movement for economic and social justice. And the history of the United States, thank you. The history of the United States is a history of great movements that have propelled us forward towards greater justice and greater equality with each generation. If you think about it, the abolition movement, the women's suffrage movement, the labor movement, the civil rights movement, the LGBT equality movement, all made this a more just, more equal country than it was when the movements began, and not one of those movements was started by a public official. This is what movement building looks like. So as you move forward tonight, and as you learn these skills, please remember, movement building is about more than blocking bad policies. It's about challenging assumptions about what is possible and opening doors so that what is not possible today can become possible tomorrow. Think of the ambitions of the founders of those movements who worked for decades to transform society, to transform consciousness, whether it was the abolition of slavery or a woman's right to vote or a minimum wage. These are visionaries, and now is the time for vision, because people want to see that there is a way forward. And our generation now has to answer to this great, quintessentially American challenge. I believe that the next movement, the movement you are starting here now, you are starting the weeks and months ahead, is going to challenge us to move in terms of social and economic justice far beyond anything we've ever accomplished before as a country, because that is what we do. We move beyond what we've accomplished before. And ladies and gentlemen, think big. We're not just going to stop bad policies. We're going to remind people of what the values of this country are and move ahead, because we can send the message. We can have a more vibrant democracy. We can make it easy for everyone to register and vote. We can have a criminal justice system that does justice. This week, we raise the age. And there are people I see here who were with me 8 years ago when I finally was the sponsor in the Senate when we repealed the Rockefeller drug laws. In New York, we must model smart criminal justice reform policy. These models aren't coming out of the federal government, my friends. This has to be done at the state and local level. We have to model smart education policy so every child has a great school in their community. And we have to restore democracy to the state. We have to make it easy for everyone to register, vote, and run for office. That we can do. That we can do. So as you embark tonight on this process, and you got some other great speakers here, and I'm going to close up, remember, you are here as movement builders. You are here in a great American tradition. Every generation of Americans has been called on to rise to this challenge. Are we going to leave this country more just and more equal than we found it? You are challenged now. We are challenged now. Are we going to rise to this occasion? Rise. We will rise. We will rise to this occasion. You will rise to this occasion. And I promise you that I will be with you every step of the way. I welcome your company. I welcome your work. This is happening all over America, but it's wonderful to be here in a place that's given birth to so much great American politics and so many great American movements. It's great to be here with you in Brooklyn. Thank you for everything you're doing. Thank you for your commitment to organizing. And thank you for the work we will do together in the weeks and months ahead to make this a more just, a more equal country, and to live up to our tradition as American activists. I'm with you every step of the way. Thank you, Brooklyn.